Many parents are not aware that it is possible to reduce ADHD symptoms using only natural strategies. Our next guest has some personal experience in the matter. Joining me now is Dana Kay, CEO and founder of the ADHD Thrive Institute. Good morning, Dana.
Hi, thanks so much for having me, Jessica.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you in this morning. So talk to us about what ADHD is. We know that it can even affect the entire family as well. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, definitely. Look, ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is one of the most common mental disorders, and there's approximately 6 million children in the USA today that have been diagnosed with it. 2/3 of those children are actually prescribed strong stimulant medication and or behavioural therapy to treat symptoms, but they're not provided any other solutions to managing those symptoms. And it can fall into two camps. So we've got hyperactive impulsive and we've got inattention. So some symptoms that can come with those are things like inability to sit still, emotional dysregulation, hyperactivity, impulsivity, daydreaming, inattention, and different children can have different types of symptoms. When my son was diagnosed at the age of 4, he was put on 3 strong medication, and our whole life was like living on an emotional roller coaster. And when the doctor wanted to prescribe the 4th medication, I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. And so I'm really here today to share with families there is another way. Medication is not the only option, and there are other natural strategies that can help.
Absolutely. I'm curious to know, when do, let's say, parents and families say, okay, we need to take our child in to either get tested or looked at for ADHD. Some of those things you mentioned can seem almost like a little bit of normal behavior for someone, correct?
Yeah, look, I think it's like if you add it all up, and if the family are really struggling, then it's probably not just normal behavior. But yes, it's hard to decipher, is this normal behavior or is it not? The best thing to do is to go in to a specialist pediatrician, not just your general pediatrician, and have proper testing done to determine whether or not that's the case.
Absolutely. Now, what are some contributors when it comes to ADHD?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There is some evidence that genetics does play a role, but in my opinion, that is just a small percentage of the children that are diagnosed. I believe that the biggest contributor to ADHD symptoms is inflammation. And I like to use this bit of a funny analogy to explain it. So we've got a trash can here, okay? And in this trash can, we've got all of this metaphorical trash can in our body. And obviously, we're meant to empty our trash can. We put it out on our curb every Monday to take away the trash. But if we can't effectively empty the trash can, it's going to build up and build up and build up. And so we put all of this load on the trash can. We put poor diet, we put toxic medications, we put too much sugar, we put bacteria, things like that. And so what's happening to our kids is we're putting all of this load on their trash can. They're not able to take it out to the curb on Monday to empty it because their detoxification pathways are compromised, and it overflows into their body, causing inflammation. And that inflammation exacerbates ADHD symptoms. So we really need to reduce the load on the trash can to reduce that inflammation.
Now, before we go, I want to talk about maybe some natural remedies or strategies that you have that have helped.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing obviously is to reduce the load on that trash can, and we do that through diet. Diet is the foundation of everything. If you are building a house and that house doesn't have a strong foundation, it's not going to be very strong. In the same way with our body. So start with diet, reducing the foods that inflame the body, and really feeding the body with whole micronutrient rich fruits and veggies, grass-fed animal protein, healthy fats to feed the brain, lots of spring water to help that detox pathways, and then also do some lab work on that child to see what else could be contributing to that inflammation. And when you've got that information, you can bring in some supplements, tailor the diet further, and help that child thrive.
Wow, wonderful. Dana, thank you so much for joining us this morning
and giving us having me.
Your insight. And I think the visual is very helpful.
Thank you very much. And I could go on and on about this topic.
Yes, absolutely. To learn more about these natural remedies, head to ADHDThriveInstitute.com.